GameStop. You know what? Things really have changed. It's not the way it used to be. Stay tuned. Lit it. What's up, everybody? I want to talk about GameStop right now because the reason why I want to talk about that is because I have recently visited GameStop just to buy some games. You know, I went with my son, and he was so excited about the new Zelda game. I think it was like a Zelda fighting type game. It was like, it's still the same world as Tears of the Kingdom, but it is actually a fighting version where you just, you know, slaughter all kinds of goblins and creatures and all kinds of stuff. So I went there with him and I bought it. And there was something that I noticed about GameStop, you know? What I noticed about GameStop is that the energy that used to be there when I was, because back in the days I was going to GameStop much more often, and not only to GameStop but also to other similar games until I got bought up by GameStop, which was, I think one was called Spencer. No, not Spencer. Was it Spencer? Like, it was like different game stores. It was not just GameStop, but it were other companies having game stores. You know, I remember I saw them all over the mall and stuff. And then eventually GameStop, you know, literally bought them all up, and now you don't see any other game store except GameStop, you know? We already know that plenty of GameStops already have closed, okay? However, I have noticed something that was just, you know, when I walked into the store, I just noticed that, you know, there weren't many people there. You know, I think when I went in there, there were 2 people were in there. When they left, that was just me there. And I was actually going there in a time when it's normally pretty crowded, you know? I mean, maybe it is because the location that I'm living at, you know, every location is different. You know, I think that if you go to GameStop in the mall, it may be a little more crowded because more people are there. But I was still in a pretty busy area. You know, there's shopping centers all over the place. And GameStop was, the games that I was going to, it was literally like right at the strip mall, you know? So there were plenty of people there walking around. But GameStop was really empty. I mean, there was really no one there, you know? And then I started to really realize that the magic about the whole thing about GameStop, you know, people coming early, getting the latest game. I still remember when, you know, back in the days, 11-11-11, my favorite RPG game, Skyrim, came out, you know? I was literally standing in line at like 10 p.m. at night, and it was a long line. People wanted to buy that game, okay? So I was one of the first to get the copy at 12:01 a.m. on 11-11-11. And I remember how crowded it was. And even back then, you know, when The Witcher came up, Witcher 3 back in 2014, same thing. A lot of people standing in line. You know, I remember when the PlayStation 3 came out, you know, a lot of people standing in line wanted to get the PlayStation 3 for the first time, you know. And it is not the same anymore. I mean, things really have changed, you know. And there are many reasons for that, you know. Some of the reasons are obviously, you know, people are probably getting sick and tired of video games. You know, the games have become more repetitive. You know, there are less and less unique games. I mean, of course, here once in a while, there are some gemstones coming out, some very good games that are really unique, like Red Dead Redemption 2. For me personally, it was Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It was a game that was very unique and very different. You know, there are still games coming out that are really good, even nowadays still. But most of the time, the games are just becoming very repetitive, and it's kind of like the same thing, just a different character, nothing new, nothing unique, nothing really different, you know? So I think that people are really, you know, busy, you know, and don't want to play these types of games. And now, of course, the second one, I just hinted on it. The second reason is busyness, you know. People are just busy nowadays. You know, they don't have much time to go to the GameStop anymore, to the game store, to really sit there and browse some games and look around and find the latest console. People are busy. They are worried, you know. Inflation, things are getting so expensive nowadays. And that is my third point that I'm going towards, is that people just simply can't afford it anymore because of things are getting just more expensive. I mean, so many things are getting more expensive, okay? And people just don't have time to purchase games anymore. This is also another reason why some of those stores are really getting empty. There's not many people going in for shopping anymore because everything is just so freaking expensive. The fourth reason why I personally believe, and that's a big one, why things are just getting really empty in stores and GameStop's, is because of digital sales. We're living in the days of digital sales nowadays. Everything you can buy online. You can buy your latest games online. You can buy your latest movies online. You can buy your latest software online. We are getting right now and right in front of our eyes, we are getting out of the hardware seasons or season or section or decade or whatever you want to call that. We're just getting out of the hardware. We are getting more into the physical media, but we're getting more into the digital media. Did I say hardware? I didn't mean to say it. I'm talking about media. I'm talking about physical media versus digital media. People are just freaking lazy. They don't want to go out there to the store. Why should they? Why should they? They can just go on their PlayStation right there. They can log right into the game store and just download the latest game. Okay? They may even find games out there that are hard to find in the store. Okay? This is another reason why those stores are getting empty. They're getting empty because of digital media. There's no more physical media needed. People don't want to go in the store to buy that. That's why the GameStop is so desperate in trying to sell other things other than just games. Things that you obviously cannot buy digitally, which is like, action figures and collectible items and collectible cards and you name it. They got all kinds of different things besides video games. Unless they want to buy a console, then obviously the people still have to go out there and buy that. However, one day I'm telling you, the console will also be gone. One day everything will be downloaded and then you can just play on whatever platform. Obviously we had Google Stadia back in the days. That didn't. That was a very interesting idea, but obviously that did not take off, unfortunately. So that did not take off. But I think that someone is going to attempt doing this again, to get rid of the console completely. Think about this. We already can watch movies without any kind of hardware. We don't need to have a DVD player or a plug-in device or even a console to play Netflix movies, YouTube. You can watch this right on your. If you have a smart TV, it already has it built in, so you can just go online. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Netflix, and you can download, or you can watch the movie right there without any hardware. Okay, so it's just a matter of time. However, I just noticed that in those game stores, at least the ones that I'm going towards, the ones that I went to, it's just getting mysteriously empty. And it is actually really a sad thing. Some of the things that happened back in the early 2000s and the 90s is just things that are just so special. And as we see those things magically going away in front of our eyes, I remember back in the days, Blockbuster, people weren't going to Blockbuster. People are going to the movie theaters a lot. People are going to the game store. You know what? It is actually a sad thing that this is happening because, everything is now available from home. And even though it may be very convenient, it just takes away the magic of going out, socializing, being outdoors, getting some vitamin D from the sun. We are all becoming indoor creatures. We're not going to go out there anymore and just spend time. And why should we? We can get everything from home. We don't have to go nowhere no more. And this is a sad thing. This is really a sad thing. And I just hope that we can bring this back. I don't know how, but I'm trying to support that by going to GameStop and buy some games there instead of, downloading them. And I'm still a physical gamer. A physical media type. I don't like to have all these digital things, even though there are some games out there that I did recently download on the PlayStation store online, but only because those games are not really easy to find on the digital on the physical media, or maybe because they're not even available on physical media. There are games out there that you cannot even buy physically. They're only available digitally. So I personally miss it. And looking at this footage right now, It's just those days are over. Those days are over. I mean, GameStops are becoming freaking ghost towns. Nothing going on, and it's just a matter of time until they all go out of business because people are just, they don't need it no more. They just go home and download the game, and if they want to have a physical console, that's the only reason why to go out there to GameStop to purchase a console or a controller, anything that you need to have physically in order to play the game. But they can also go to Walmart or Best Buy or Target. They don't have to go to GameStop to buy these consoles. But like I said before, this is only a matter of time until the console war will be completely over. We already seen certain console wars are coming to the end, like Xbox, slowly getting out of that, and they're starting to focus more on software instead of hardware. It's just a matter of time. So with that said, guys, this is my personal opinion and my personal thoughts about that. If you have anything that I want to add to this that I may have forgotten, or you have any comments, I would appreciate it. Leave it in the comment section below. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys very soon, guys. All right? Peace out, guys.